Hi everyone, Erica Nunnally here. I'm the founder of the Bijah Institute, a center for mindful living in Rhode Island, and the creator of Sacred Directions, a wayfinding school for individuals who are dedicated to advancing their mindfulness practices. Welcome to the Yoga Blueprint, a masterclass on how to deepen your yoga practice both on and off the mat today. Before we get started, let's make sure you're in the right place. This master level class is designed for yoga students. It's for students who are dedicated to learning more about yoga, for students who wish to deepen their personal practice, and for students who are committed to transforming their lives for good. If that's you, you're in the right masterclass. During the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to share with you 3 key factors that affect your group yoga class experience and might be impeding your growth on the mat, even though your teachers are probably incredible. I'm going to provide you with a full and complete yoga practice blueprint so that you can begin to use it immediately to shift out of second gear and advance your practice both on and off the mat. I'm going to tell you how I personally use this blueprint to work around limiting factors to heal myself with yoga. Because this is a master level class, I'm going to get right to the good stuff. I recognize that your time is precious, and the fact that you're spending any of it with me is tremendous. Thank you. Let me just say up front, to settle your mind, there is no sales pitch at the end of this class. This class is purely designed to provide you with tools to enhance your health and wellness journey through yoga. My only hope is that you begin to incorporate these tools into your practice immediately, because I sincerely believe they will transform your practice for good. I ask that you spend the time during this workshop to really digest the lessons I'm going to share. I ask that you keep an open mind around what these lessons could mean for your overall picture of wellness. If you do, I'm certain you'll begin to notice immediate shifts, not just on your mat, but off your mat as well. And as I said, there isn't a sales pitch at the end, but there is a promise. If you do spend the time to learn the lessons from this masterclass and stay with me to the end, there's a special gift waiting for you. So be sure to stay to the end to claim your gift. My offering to you is that by the end of this master level class, you will have a deeper understanding of how yoga with a capital Y works. You'll have a frame of reference for those gems your group yoga teacher might drop during class. Things like practice, all is coming, or let that mess go. You'll see how yoga works as a complete system for mindful living, and most importantly, you begin to see exactly how you can advance your yoga practice today, and without the expense of enrolling in a yoga teacher training. You will be able to pinpoint exactly which aspects of the practice truly bring nourishment into your life, which aspects have been missing, and which might require further study to bring your yoga journey to the next level for your overall health and wellness. So what that all boils down to is that this masterclass is all about you. So before I go any further, because I believe in transparency, I want to tell you why I'm hosting this masterclass. There are 2 reasons. First, I'm a yoga teacher. I own a center for mindful living in Rhode Island, and I'm the director of the Deep River School of Yoga that offers. I've been practicing for over 25 years and teaching for over 10 years. But here's the thing. Seeing students float along in their practices while stuck in second gear makes my heart a little sore. In today's yoga climate, you have a choice of any number of resources for your group yoga experience, whether online or at a studio or a class at your gym. You have more options. It's great there is more yoga for everyone. But on the other hand, for you individually, this means by the time you cycle back around to your home-based teacher, a week or 2 or more may have passed since your last class with them. This means you're missing out on a level of continuity that might provide the deeper lessons of yoga that are most important for when life goes sideways. And that brings me to my second reason. The second reason is extremely personal, but I know sharing it with you will help bring context to this masterclass. My second reason for sharing these deeper yoga lessons with you today is because yoga saved my life. Twice. The first time I used yoga to navigate my way to wellness in the face of Crohn's disease. Crohn's disease is a chronic digestive disorder that modern medicine has no cure for. I surrendered my body to modern medicine for a year, and for my efforts, I earned the precious reward of a solid month in a hospital bed. And I gotta tell you, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I determined it was time to reclaim my body. Working with my doctors, I made a plan to wean off the prescriptions and dedicated a year to reconnecting to my body. No filters. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was hard and required a great deal of discipline. For my year of mindful living, though, I regained my health and wellness. And I haven't faltered for over a decade. The second time yoga saved my life was from a bout of sepsis. In my case, harmful bacteria had flooded my bloodstream, and my liver and pancreas were inflamed and shutting down. My surgeon told me during my follow-up visit that only about 27% of people with my particular emergency situation survive. He went on to say that he believed the only reason I was even walking around within a week of my surgery was because I had come in so healthy to begin with. I cannot in good conscience give 100% of the credit for my recovery to my weekly time on my mat. Of course, an incredible team of health professionals had to support my work. But in truth, when I look back on these moments in my life, I know it was the deeper lessons of yoga that supported me when I believed my body had betrayed me most. Unlike most yoga students today, during these critical moments in my life, I already had the full discipline of yoga available to me in my mental medicine cabinet. And so I'm leading this master class because I want you to have access to. If you learn one truth from me during this class, let it be this. Your yoga practice is designed specifically for when life goes sideways. So now you know why I'm here, and we know that you're in the right place. I'm going to dive right into what you've been waiting for. The 3 key factors that are limiting your growth on the mat. They are continuity, content, and application. I touched on the first factor a moment ago, continuity. As a yoga teacher myself, believe me when I say, I do not think that your teacher is doing a disservice. Our current yoga environment simply makes it difficult for you to receive the continuity you deserve. You show up, get on your mat, take in what's offered, and continue enriched for the moment. And the next week, you return to your mat, and a new nugget is offered. You take it in, and again, continue enriched for the moment. But what if I told you there is a bigger picture? This question brings me to the second key factor that may be impeding your yoga journey. Content. Those gems your teacher is dropping during class are pulled from a blueprint for mindful living. So to answer the question, yes, there is a bigger picture. And because of our climate, you're receiving the Cliff Notes version pushed through a sieve. In an average group yoga class, you're receiving about 3/8 of the rich information available to you as a dedicated student of yoga. Why do I say 3/8? Why so specific? The blueprint I'm going to share with you threads all those gems together and provides context for the application of yoga in your daily life. This blueprint is called the 8 Limbs of Yoga, and it was written down in the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali approximately 200 AD as a prescription for controlling the restlessness of the mind, body, and spirit. It is an 8-step path. In your group yoga class, you're likely to embody at least 3 of the 8 practices regularly. But that leaves another 5/8 that your practice is missing. So let's take a look at the limbs and fill in the lost content for you today. Think of the 8 limbs as presented in a wheel, like the spokes of a bicycle. No one limb is actually more or less important than the other, and there is no starting place or finish line. But don't worry, this doesn't mean that the cycle is endless. It simply means that you have the freedom to move through the limbs at various times throughout your day, throughout your month, and throughout your lifetime, as your life calls for it. Because again, yoga practice is designed specifically for when life goes sideways. To accommodate the slideshow format of this master class, I'll present the 8 limbs linearly. But keep in mind there is no beginning or end. And once you've committed to a truly yogic journey, you are encouraged to move about this 8-limb path freely. The first limb I'll present is asana. We often use the word asana to refer to the poses that you explore during your group yoga class. But a better translation of the term is to be seated in a position that is firm and relaxed. So asana is really a state of being. It refers to how you are in the pose, not simply the pose itself. So the next time you get on your mat, come into the pose and notice how you've approached the pose. Are you tense? Are you straining? Do you barely notice the pose at all? What shifts can you make to embody asana, to be seated in the moment within the pose with steadiness and ease? The next limb we'll look at is pranayama. You are likely practicing this limb in partnership with asana. Pranayama is often described as breathing exercises. I see it as much more powerful than that. Pranayama is comprised of 2 words, prana, meaning energy or life force, and yama, in this context, meaning to control. I'd like you to think of it more like controlling the direction and capacity of your energy. So with measured and purposeful breath, you are literally controlling your life force. Take a deep breath. Notice the shift in your body. It's pretty incredible, right? To me, the next 2 limbs, yama and niyama, are like the 10 commandments of yoga, if there were such a thing. They represent right living, or ethical rules within yoga. Yama can best be described as universal moralities, or thoughts on how we should deal with the people around us, while niyama are more personal observances. Within each, there are 5 wise characteristics. Let's take a look at the 5 precepts within yama. The first one, ahimsa, means compassion for all living things. The word literally translates to non-harming or not to injure, to show no cruelty to any creature or any person. Ahimsa implies that in every situation we should adopt a considerate attitude and do no harm. Satya, commitment to truthfulness. Satya means to speak the truth. We have to consider what we say, how we say it, and in what way it could affect others. This precept is based on the understanding that honest communication and action form the bedrock of any healthy relationship, community, or government. Asteya, non-stealing. Steya means to steal, while asteya is the opposite, to take nothing that is not freely given. This includes fostering a consciousness of how we ask for others' time. Brahmacharya, sense control. Brahmacharya is used mostly in the sense of abstinence, particularly in relationship to sexual activity. Brahmacharya does not necessarily imply celibacy. Practicing brahmacharya means that we use our sexual energy to regenerate our connection to our spiritual self. Aparigraha, non-hoarding. Aparigraha means to take only what is necessary, what we have earned. The collection or hoarding of things implies a lack of faith in oneself to provide for your own future. Aparigraha also implies letting go of our attachment to things and an understanding that impermanence and change are the only constants. So let's take a look at the 5 precepts within niyama. The first one, sauka. Sauka means purity and cleanliness. Here you can see how the limbs work together. Practicing asana or pranayama are essential means for attending to inner sauka. Awareness of what you're choosing to feed your body, your mind, your spirit. Asana tones the entire body and removes toxins, while pranayama cleanses our lungs, oxygenates your blood, and purifies your nerves. Sauka was my first step on my journey to wellness when I could find no other relief for my Crohn's disease. Santosha, contentment. Santosha can also mean modesty. This is the feeling of being content with what we have, to be at peace while experiencing life's difficulties. To adopt Santosa requires a shift in perspective. Can you choose to be happy with what you have rather than being unhappy about what you don't? Tapas is a disciplined use of our energy. Tapas refers to the activity of keeping the body fit. Literally, it means to heat the body, and by doing so, to cleanse it. Tapas helps us burn up all the distractions that stand in our way. Another form of tapas is paying attention. Attention to your body posture, attention to your eating habits, attention to your breathing patterns. All of these are tapas. Svadhyaya, self-study. Sva means self. Adhyaya means inquiry or examination. Any activity that cultivates self-reflection can be considered svadhyaya. It means to intentionally become aware in all of our activities and efforts, even to the point of welcoming and accepting our limitations. So, for example, if you come to your mat injured or unwell, Svadhyaya would encourage you to modify your practice without apology and without concern for how it looks outwardly. Self-study. This is a critical attitude to adopt when you are nursing yourself back into wellness. Isvara Pranadhana, a celebration of the spirit. Isvara Pranadhana means to lay all your actions at the feet of God or the creator of your own choosing. It is the contemplation on an omnipresent force larger than ourselves. To recap, the Yamas are the moral virtues which, if attended to, purify human nature and contribute to the health and happiness of those around you. Niyama are personal kindnesses that must be adopted to move through the world with Yama at the steering wheel. So when your yoga teacher says to you, be the change you wish to see in the world, the lessons of the third and fourth limbs, Yama and Niyama, feed that notion. Let's move on to the Pratyahara limb, which means to draw back or retreat. Ahara means nourishment. So together, Pratyahara translates to withdraw oneself from that which nourishes the senses. So to draw back from external stimuli. When your senses are no longer dependent on the whiz and glitz provided from the external, you're free to explore your inner landscape with more purity and truth. When you sit in meditation, you tap into Pratyahara because you are training your mind to focus on the sense of meditation and nothing else. This limb is critical to emotional well-being and development. Dhāraṇā is our sixth limb. It means immovable concentration of the mind. Can you hold your concentration or focus your attention on one thing at a time? When you're on your mat, you may have heard your teacher suggest that you set your dristi, to set your gaze on a single point of focus. This is a small taste of Dhāraṇā, the art of concentrating on one thing. Next, dhyana. Dhyana means to worship or to meditate on. Dhyana refers to perfect contemplation, to find stillness, to be okay with the time and pace it takes for a lesson, a goal, a journey to unfold. To sit and truly listen. Your mind, your body, your spirit, they all have something to contribute to your progress in this life. The final limb of the eight-limbed path is samadhi. This is pure union with the divine. Sometimes during meditation, you'll drop down into this level of connection. But the moment you've noticed, you'll fall out. Samadhi is often referred to as pure bliss, that moment when all the limbs of yoga resonate within you. That is samadhi. Let's recap. Yama, how you treat others. Niyama, how you treat yourself. Asana, to embody the pose. Pranayama, to control your energy. Pratyahara, control of the senses. Dhāraṇā, concentration. Dhyana, meditation. And samadhi, union with the divine. These 8 steps of yoga indicate a logical pathway that leads to the attainment of physical, emotional, and spiritual health. Yoga is designed to remove the clutter, the toxic buildup, and the mindless chatter so that your natural state of total health and integration can become a reality. By adopting any of these attitudes today, you will have taken the first steps to shifting out of second gear and into a healthier, mindful, and more advanced yoga experience. Now, wait a moment. I mentioned there were 3 key factors impeding the advancement of your yoga practice. The first is continuity. The second is content. The third key factor is attention. To be precise, your group yoga class cannot offer you the one-on-one attention you need to keep pace with your daily shifts, setbacks, and accomplishments. Traditionally, yoga was passed on from teacher to student, one student at a time. It was very personal journey work. I told you earlier in this class that I dedicated a year of my life to reclaiming ownership of my choices, my body, and my wellness. I told you that it was challenging but rewarding work. So rewarding, in fact, that I created a program for yoga students who are equally dedicated to learning more, advancing their personal practice, attaining optimal wellness, and moving beyond limiting factors. I believe that continuity, content, and attention are your right as a dedicated yoga student. I call this program the Year of the Yogi. To bridge the gap between the obvious results of one-on-one work and the practicality and camaraderie of group work, the Year of the Yogi is explored through a combination of virtual classroom time and in-person check-ins. Year of the Yogi is not a yoga teacher training. It is yoga training. It is a journey that provides a rich tapestry and framework of self-study to advance your mindful living skills and practices. It is long-term nourishment for those who are qualified and ready. Let's recap what I've shared with you. I have just shared 3 key elements that your group yoga practice is missing, but are critical to the progress of your wellness journey. I've demonstrated how you can shift out of second gear by using the full and complete yoga blueprint, the 8 limbs of yoga, for your growth and development. I've explained how you can truly advance your practice by connecting with a resource that provides the level of attention you deserve for your yoga journey. My sincere hope is that you take this information about the 8 limbs of yoga, your understanding of the key factors that might be impeding your growth, and truly blossom into the next level of your yoga journey with flair. Thank you for staying with me through to the end of this masterclass. My gift to you, if you choose to redeem it, is a one-on-one call with me. Let's talk about your yoga journey and how I might support your personal work. Do keep in mind the precept of asteya, non-stealing, should you decide to schedule a call with me. I respect and value your time and ask that you do the same for me. Should you opt to redeem your gift, please be certain that you will be available to chat at your appointment time. Namaste.